With you can't create mystery by going silent if you were never magnetic when you were present. And yet, so many guys try. They get this half-baked advice from dating coaches or toxic influencers. Don't text first. Let her wonder about you. Pull back and she'll chase. And they run with it. Not understanding that mystery without magnetism is just forgettable silence. Let's break this down. Part 1. The illusion of strategy. If you're playing strategy, trying to pull back and create desire, but you haven't created emotional tension, chemistry, or meaningful connection, then you're not being strategic. You're being invisible. Because here's the brutal truth. You can't withdraw what you never gave. If your conversations were shallow, if your energy was uncertain, if your confidence was shaky, if your attention felt transactional or needy, then going silent doesn't spark curiosity. It just makes her feel relief. Or nothing at all. That's the part most men skip. They think ignoring a woman is power. But real power isn't withdrawal. It's impact. If you didn't move her, she won't chase you. Not because she's cold, not because she didn't like you, but because you never gave her anything to respond to emotionally. Silence only echoes if there was noise before it. Absence only hurts if your presence meant something. Part 2. The woman you want isn't chasing ghosts. Let's get even more honest. Attractive women, the kind of women most men are drawn to, don't chase silence. They chase impact. They chase certainty. They chase a man who makes them feel something they're not getting from anyone else. Not because he's playing games, but because he's living with purpose. These women aren't waiting by their phones. They're not scrolling for crumbs of male attention. They're surrounded by it. But you want her to notice when you don't text? Why would she? Why would she suddenly care about your absence when your presence never shifted anything inside her? She doesn't chase because she's not impressed. And you're trying to make up for lack of substance with strategy. You're pulling back before you even stepped up. Part 3. You're not being strong. You're just avoiding rejection. Let's call it out. A lot of men aren't playing hard to get. They're just afraid. They fear rejection. They fear vulnerability. So instead of boldly expressing interest and risking being told no, they mask it as playing it cool. But women feel that energy. And the right women aren't drawn to men who are scared to be seen. Because here's what leadership looks like. You show up. You speak clearly. You lead the dynamic. You express interest. You take the risk. And if it's not mutual, you walk away. With strength, not spite, but pulling back before making a real move? That's not leadership. That's not strength. That's not masculine. That's hiding. Part 4. The lie of she'll come back if she cares. Let's rip the bandage off. You've been telling yourself, if she cared, she'd come back. If I meant something, she'd reach out. If it was real, she wouldn't walk away. But here's the truth most men never want to hear. She didn't come back. Not because she didn't care, but because she was never truly invested. That hurts. But pain is what breaks delusion. And the delusion is thinking that care equals commitment. A woman can like you, enjoy you, even appreciate you, and still leave you. Why? Because you didn't create impact. You didn't create depth. You didn't create contrast. You didn't create emotional gravity, the kind that makes her feel your presence long after you're gone. You were nice, predictable, logical. But women don't chase logic. They chase emotion. Not chaos, but charge. Not drama, but dominance of self. Not control, but confidence. You suppressed your edge. You made yourself small to be accepted. You didn't embody masculine energy. You edited it, and that's why she didn't look back. Not because you weren't good enough, but because you weren't fully you. So stop asking, why didn't she fight for me? Ask, did I give her anything to fight for? Her silence wasn't betrayal, it was feedback. Feedback that you still have work to do. Feedback that you weren't standing in your full strength yet. Feedback that your presence didn't create, pull, Because you were trying to impress instead of express? Good. Because now you know, you don't need to chase closure. You need to chase clarity about the man you want to become. You don't need her to come back, you need to come back to yourself. Let her go. Not to forget her, but to forgive yourself for abandoning your power. Now rise. Because your future won't be built by the man she left, but by the man you've now decided to become. Part 5. Stop asking, how do I make her chase? Let's end the game playing. If your mind is still looping around the question, how do I make her chase me? You've already lost your frame, because the second you try to manipulate pursuit, you step out of your power and into performance. Here's the better question. How do I become a man she wouldn't want to lose? Not because you beg, not because you ghost, not because you're trying to trigger her anxiety, but because your energy is irreplaceable. You're calm when others panic. You stay centered when emotions swirl. You don't flinch when she's unsure. You hold the line, grounded, certain, composed. You're bold when others hide. You speak truth when others sugarcoat. You own your interest, clearly, respectfully, unapologetically. You create peace, not pressure. Presence, not performance. Stability, not strategy. And that's why she feels you. That's why even in your absence she remembers. Not because you pulled away to punish her, but because your presence left an emotional imprint. You were real. You didn't play hot and cold. You didn't send mixed signals. You simply were. Full, whole, complete. That's the kind of man a woman doesn't want to lose, not because he makes her chase, but because he makes her feel safe in a world full of instability. So no, stop chasing tactics. Stop asking for hacks to win her attention. Start becoming the man who doesn't need to get chased, because he's too focused on building something worth being part of. You're not here to be her addiction. You're here to be her anchor. So work on your posture, your habits, your integrity, your spiritual depth, your standards. Because when a woman meets a man like that, the kind of man who moves with vision, discipline, and emotional depth, she doesn't want to win him, she wants to join him, and that's when you stop asking how to get her back. Because now, you've got you. Part 6. Real masculinity is built, not played. Let's drop the buzzwords and dating hacks. Let's talk masculinity, not the toxic version, not the alpha theater, not the fake dominance. I'm talking about grounded masculinity, where your power doesn't come from controlling others. It comes from mastering yourself, where you don't need to manipulate because your presence alone shifts the room, where you don't need to test women because you trust your own standards, where silence isn't a tactic, it's a statement. I know who I am. I won't chase what's not mine. That version of you? He doesn't need to pretend to be mysterious. He is. Not because he hides, but because he lives with purpose, and that's rare. Part 7. Don't build your value around her reaction. Here's one of the most dangerous habits a man can fall into. Making her reaction your mirror. She didn't reply. I must have said something wrong. She pulled back. I probably came on too strong. She's not texting first. Maybe I'm not attractive enough. You start adjusting, tweaking your words, overthinking your tone, changing your truth to get a response. Stop. That's not strength. That's self-abandonment. That's tying your identity to her unpredictability. And the truth is, her silence is not a verdict on your value. It's a reflection of where she is, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And none of that defines you. You are not your outcomes. You are your process, your vision, your discipline, your evolution. Every time you shift based on her reaction, you train yourself to perform, not lead. You stop building your foundation and start building illusions. And women feel that. They feel when you're waiting on their attention to feel good about yourself. And they pull away. Not because you're not good enough, but because you're not centered. So let this sink in. If your value rises and falls with her mood, you've handed over your power. If her silence ruins your day, you've made her your god. This isn't about her anymore, this is about you. Who are you when no one's watching? What are you building, even when no one claps? What do you stand for, even when you're alone? Because the woman meant for you, the one aligned with your purpose. She won't need to be convinced. She'll feel your energy. She'll recognize your direction. She'll see your stability and respect it. And if she doesn't, let her go. Not out of bitterness, but because you finally realized your value was never hers to define. It was always yours to protect. You can't disappear and expect to be missed if your presence was never powerful to begin. Never powerful to begin. Final word. Start building, stop performing. Here's the hard truth that will free you. The strongest men don't play games. They build kingdoms, and kings don't chase approval. They don't manipulate silence. They don't perform for attention. They show up. They lead. They build. If you're tired of playing the same game, tired of being ignored, confused, overlooked, it's time to shift your focus inward. Forget being mysterious. Be memorable. Forget making her chase. Be the man who doesn't have to chase because his value is self-evident. Forget testing her with silence. Test yourself with discipline, purpose, and strength. And the next time you walk away, it won't be to make a point, it'll be because you know in your bones and that you deserve better. That's when women feel your absence. Not because you vanished, but because when you were present, you mattered. If this message hit you, you're ready for more. You're not just looking for advice, you're looking for transformation. So here's your next move. Join the Stoic Approach to Life Masterclass. We don't teach tricks, we build men. Men who don't crumble under pressure. Men who live with emotional control, clarity, and masculine self-respect. If you're done playing games that leave you empty, if you're ready to build strength from the inside out, because the next time you're silent, it won't be a strategy. It'll be because your presence spoke loud enough. The right woman already heard you. And if she didn't, she wasn't the one. But now, you are.